You know that feeling, right? You're in a meeting, you pitch a great idea, but it just falls flat. Or you make a call, and you can almost feel the respect in the room start to evaporate. So why does that happen? Well, today we're going to dig into a really subtle psychological habit that just might be the reason why.
It is so frustrating, isn't it? You know your stuff, you're good at what you do, but for some reason, your words just don't seem to land with the weight they should. Something feels off, but you can't quite put your finger on it.
And look, this isn't about you being incapable, not at all. The thing is, the root cause is often one single, powerful, and totally unconscious habit. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. It'll completely change how you're perceived by pretty much everyone. All right, so let's get right into it. Section 1 is all about pulling back the curtain on this hidden habit. It's something a lot of us do every single day, and we don't even realize the damage it's doing. Okay, here it is. The habit is seeking reassurance. It's that little question you tack on at the end of a statement. Does that make sense? Or was that the right call? Or what do you think? It sounds harmless, right? Even collaborative. But what it's really doing is broadcasting uncertainty. And the second you do that, you've just weakened your own authority. It's like a quiet form of self-sabotage. So that leads us straight into our next section, the reassurance trap. We're going to break down the mechanics of how this tiny little habit literally causes you to give away your own power. And here's the first big hook. This quote, it reveals something pretty chilling about how people work. This habit doesn't just make you seem less confident. No, it makes you a target. Think about it. Someone who wants to control the situation doesn't need to come at you with force. They can just sit back and wait for you to signal that you doubt yourself. The moment you do, you've handed them the keys. And just look at the power shift that happens here. Before you ask for reassurance, you make a statement. This is the plan we're going with. Solid, decisive. But the moment you ask, so do you guys think this is a good plan? Your statement just turned into a question. Your decision just became a negotiation. You've literally opened the door for it to be picked apart. Now, picture the most confident people you know. What do they have in common? They usually don't talk a lot, right? They're not filling every silence. Their words have weight. And they're definitely not scanning the room to see how their ideas are landing. They just state their position and trust it. They leave no room for doubt. Now, seeking reassurance is the big one. But it rarely travels alone. It usually brings a few friends along with it. So let's look at 3 other habits that also have a nasty way of chipping away at your authority. We're going to talk about something called emotional leakage, the problem of being too available. Yeah, that's a thing. And the deep-seated fear of conflict that might be holding you back way more than you think. So first up, emotional leakage. This is when you overreact to little things. Your voice gets sharp over a tiny issue, or you get defensive in a simple chat. When your emotions are on a hair trigger like that, you become incredibly predictable. And here's the scary part. If people can predict you, they can control you. And this is why, in a tense situation, the person who stays calm always seems to have the upper hand. Calmness just projects strength and control. But a big emotional reaction? Whether it's fair or not, it often comes across as weakness, like you've lost control of the situation and yourself. All right, habit number 2 is one we're all guilty of sometimes, overavailability. Replying to texts and emails within 5 seconds, always being the one to say, yeah, I can move my schedule around. It feels like you're being helpful and diligent, but the subconscious message you're sending is, my time is less important than your time. It's really just basic economics, but for respect. If something is always available, its perceived value drops. Scarcity creates value. So when you set boundaries on your time, you're not being rude. You're communicating that your time, and therefore your input, has real weight. In our final respect, Keller, fear of conflict. This is when you soften your words to avoid an awkward conversation, or you back down from your position just to keep things smooth. Every single time you avoid tension, you're not just keeping the peace. You're actively teaching other people exactly how far they can push you. Okay, so we've identified the traps. Now for the most important part. How do we get out of them? This last section is all about the fix. It's about the concrete things you can do to take back control and preserve your respect. And it all starts with this idea. You can't demand respect. It doesn't work. It's not something you get from people. It's something you keep for yourself. It's an outcome of your behavior. You preserve it by how you carry yourself. So here are the 3 big steps. Number 1, make a real effort to stop seeking reassurance. Make your statement and then just stop talking. Trust it.
Number 2, get a handle on your emotional reactions. When you feel that surge of anger or defensiveness, just pause, take a breath. Respond, not react. And third, maintain your boundaries. It is perfectly okay not to answer an email right away. Your time is valuable. Start treating it that way.
But you know what? At the end of the day, the single most powerful tool you have against all of this is just awareness. The second you become conscious of these habits, they start to lose their grip on you. Manipulation absolutely depends on you being unconscious of your own patterns. Awareness is like turning on the lights.
So I'll leave you with this question. Now that you know what to look for, that little twitch to ask for validation, that flash of an over-the-top emotional reaction, that instinct to drop everything and reply immediately, what's the one thing you're going to become aware of today?